Alright, ladies and gentlemen, and today we are doing hand painting, and we are going to be showing you how to make your black pop. So, this is a stock. I have spray painted it in matte black, and it looks fairly flat, colour-wise. So, the technique I'm going to show you will allow you to make any blacks on your blasters pop per se. Gives you a nice line highlighting that you can then paint on top of with other techniques and other colour schemes. So, we're going to go over to the painting station and we will show you how to do this little technique. It's fairly simple. See you over there. Alright, ladies and gents. So, welcome to the paint station. We've got things you're going to need here. We've got the thing we're going to be painting, obviously. Small palette. This can be a broken tile, basically something you don't mind having paint all over it. So, yeah. You're going to eventually need both of these brushes, but we'll be starting with the dry brushing. This one is a wash brush. And a pot of water to dry your brush in. Paint wise, I'm using an old one, an oldie but a goldie, Codex Grey. Now you can find any other greys in the same sort of colour shade range, so that's what you're going to need for this. Now obviously the bigger the thing you are trying to dry brush, the bigger the brush you can get away with using. So say you were going to dry brush the entire shell of a Titan, then you can probably get away with using the wash brush, but we're not for this. So, first things first, take a brush, wet it up a little bit. Next up, of course, if you're going to workshop paints, you're going to need to shake them a little. Just to make sure they're fully mixed in. So, you can take a small amount of the paint, and because of this technique you don't actually need a lot of paint on the brush, so you are literally just going to get it to the point where there's literally nothing much on there, and then you are going to take your thing and you are going to lightly, and I do mean very lightly, dry brush the entirety of the surface, which will give you a knife highlight of any edges and the surface in general. Yeah, this will take a little bit of time. This is not a quick thing to do, hence why I'd say if you are doing a really big thing, use a larger brush. Now, I was shown this technique to allow a Black Templars army to really pop, so I've used this an inordinate amount of times. But this is actually some of the first times I've been tempted to use it on a blaster. So as I say, you're trying to get as much off the brush before you start trying to put it on
things you are doing. Once you feel you've got your sides done. Now the nice thing about this technique is also that it'll dry fairly quickly, so there's not much of a chance of you putting hand on paints where you've bits that you've already painted and transferring back onto your hands and smudging what your work you've done. Every so often, just to maintain your brush as is and not just have it spray out like a really bad hair day for somebody, it makes sense to just every so often just go in and rewash your brush and then just get a bit of hair, bit of it, and that's nearly done. Okay, so most of that is now done. Give it 5 minutes to ensure that all your paint's dry and then move on to the next step. So I'm going to give this 5 minutes to dry and then I'll show you the next step. Okay guys, so we have it dried, and just to give you an idea of what it looks like beforehand, it's not brilliant but it is definitely there. Now, don't need the palette so much for this, but you will need something to just leave it on to dry. So I'm just going to use a bit of paper. You can use, if you've got a large enough palette or a wooden surface, you can use those, which are also fairly good options. So, get your wash brush and a pot of black wash. Now, regardless of what it says on the pot, this is actually Army Painter's dark wash, because I ran out of Knoll and I've got plenty of dark wash in pots like this, but it's easier to use it out of a pot like this. So, pop your lid as normal, dip your wash, get a fair bit on the brush, and then add a little bit of water to your mix. And no great finesse here, just cover the whole thing in wash. Literally. No finesse. Beyond making sure you get into every area and onto every surface of the component you are washing. Now, I would suggest doing these as a half and half. So do the top and do the bottom. Now, if you've got access to one and it's not clogged, you can do this bit with an airbrush. And as I say, you've got to make sure you get every area you can. This. Now you can do this either with the item fully built or with the item halved and halved. But there, that's half of it done. Give that wash enough time to dry, flip it over, do the other side, and then you are done. So, I'm going to give it time, I'm going to dry, let this dry, flip over, do the other side, and then we'll pop back into the main camera area. So, I'll see you in a bit.
Alright, ladies and gents. So, we have our finished article here. And from a view here, I don't think it will show up very well on the camera. We'll try. It now doesn't look so flat. So, what can you do with this? Well, you can do that on, as I say, black blasters. If you've got any black on your blaster, and before you go further down your camoing scheme, you might want to consider doing this first. But yeah, that's that done. So, that's the end of this video. I shall see you in the next one, guys. Have a good one. Bye.